Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, word, sound and power, music, drumming, current affairs, everything to grow and lift up your mind. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, creating beauty and stimulating change from a constant supply of relevant knowledge and information.
No more youths and youths for sale. We get wise and don't decide to change their style. Bobby wrong, keep your empty promises and your crooked smile. Metamorphosis, come with your thoughts, change your way of thinking. Metamorphosis, the change begins with you.
When a target, Blak men of Ethiopia, Timbuktu, Alexandria gave the light of civilization to this world. Ethiopia shall stretch forth our hands unto God, and princes shall come out of Egypt.
I, son of the Most High, Jah Rastafari.
Keep listening.
Door keep shine as enter this land. We wise and true man stand, sipping from this full cup of peace. Not one shall not one. Your people shall not enter this whole land. We wise and a true man stand, sipping from the cup of peace. You chant down no Babylon. You chant down no Babylon. You chant down no Babylon. Chant down no Babylon. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. You give thanks and praise to the whole man of creation. You chant on no Babylon. Chant on no Babylon. You chant on no Babylon. Chant on no Babylon. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise to the whole man of creation.
StylzFM 96.1.
Nastilin. Greetings. Greetings. Metamorphosis. StylzFM. 96.1. www.stylzfm.com. Aquaba. Aluta continua. Get up and fight for your right. Get up and fight. Yeah, greetings. Welcome to Reality Radio. This is the Metamorphosis, and I'm your host. I'm Dr. Blak. I'm here to steer you through the proceedings right up into midnight. So hold it tight. Get your instruments of change, because the program is about transformation. It's about information. It's about extricating. It's about awakening slumber. The sleeping. It's about awakening the power that dwells within. And that power is organized around an entity that we call the I. So we heal all the eyes. Yes, heal all the I and the I and the I. All different parts of the earth. Heal the people in Port Antonio, right here in Bonebrook. In neighboring parishes, St. Thomas and St. Mary, right across the island, people in cyberspace. Say, yes, we are here, another edition. It is the final part of the month of August. And my concern, of course, is that Marcus Garvey will just simply disappear again. And may reappear again next year, August. So within the Metamorphosis, we try to hold the focus on our consciousness. And Garvey is a centerpiece towards our black consciousness. So as much as the month is ending and Garvey is going away, we're insisting that Garvey remain. That we even begin to look at Garvey at the level of a deity. Let's elevate Garvey, that we begin to recognize Garvey in the same way we have been forced to recognize Jesus. Yes, it's Garvey versus Jesus. Which one of them can really and really, truly help us? So we're putting it right up front that we have to begin to make some serious choices within our philosophy. And the Jamaican government is saying that they're going to bring Garvey into the school. What a bangarang. What does it mean for black consciousness? What does it mean for self-empowerment? Is that what they really mean? So that is just a little introduction to what is burning. What are some of the issues that are irritating the metamorphosis? And obviously, irritation causes change, and change is growth. And I am not afraid to grow. Therefore, we are not afraid of change. Yeah, so month closing out, and things are happening around us. Rapidly, internationally, locally. I have been reliably informed that the culture of North America now is being dominated by the same-sex vibes, which is trying to enforce itself here in Jamaica. So there's a struggle. And of course, I represent the bastion of resistance. So when I look at that, how it is impacting I within this time, particularly how it impacts our economics. A lot of our economics are tied now to Moral issues. Can you imagine we can't decriminalize ganja yet? Yet we have the rum legalized. We're confused between morality and legality. If we look carefully now, if we really try to liberate ourselves, and with the whole Garvey central to this resolution, when we think about really, is it time that we really take Jesus out of the curriculum? Yes, can we insert Garvey and replace Garvey, replace the whole 2,000 years of teaching that we have had with Jesus? What do we have to lose? We have lost almost everything already. What more can we lose by trying to hold on to our own teachings? So that's a challenge now, It is Garvey versus Jesus. Whose philosophy should I trust? Metamorphosis, going through time and space. Metamorphosis here to challenge the mind, to challenge the emotions, to challenge the intellect, to challenge the systems of belief that we have been holding on to for 2,000 years without questioning, driven by fear. And you remember when we were youths and we were trying to gather knowledge, we'd apply a thing called curiosity. And every time we apply our sense of curiosity, it was always beaten down and depressed. And we were told that curiosity kills the cat. More so, the cat had 9 lives. So imagine how curiosity is powerful. Yeah, man, cat dead 9 times. Yet, you see in this current dispensation, on the planet of Mars, the white man have a little rover, called it Curiosity. Yeah, man, I want to tell you how the man deal with it, 300 million miles away, a little rover the size of a car, 6 wheels, being driven by men in Texas. Them call it the Curiosity. You know what the man at Mars doing? Trying to figure out how to colonize it, how to get the minerals out of the planet, and how to go into deeper space. No. You see the people them know who hold the concept now of the Most High. Man, don't get in that trouble now, You see the people them know who hold the concept of the Creator and the Almighty and the heaven. I want to know if the man them gone past heaven yet. We know some them on Mars, have they gone past heaven yet? And if them don't go past heaven, is heaven in our solar system? Because we have Jupiter and Saturn, and the man them have satellite around Saturn long time, So you see the Christian mind now who locked into this fear, I wanted to check what's happening in reality now, you know. They say the man, they might drive a little vehicle on Mars. Yeah, man, a little name curiosity, you know. That means it's something that we should have. Yes, it's a power that we must begin to exercise again as a people. Yeah, man, we must raise our curiosity again and ask questions. That has been done for us for decades, you know. We're afraid to ask questions. You see, worse when the people go to the university and talk them 10-letter word, and then we get afraid. Yes, we overpowered with drunkenness, you know, with those words, you know. All I'm saying to the eyes, them know who listening. You see, the Mars rover, he's a man that watch it carefully, you know. What me say? Carefully, you know. I want more black people turn them eyes to the heavens, not looking for no God, you know. We want to look at what is happening in this world of science and technology. Why the man them spending so much billions to find out what is in the blackness? What is in the deep, deep blackness? And we here are so black and are afraid. Music. Metamorphosis. StylzFM. Before I go too much into the depth of the program, let me just hear some people, because you know, once the rhythm starts flowing, hard to look on the sidelines once you're going down the river, you know. So I want to hear Joy in Vermont. Yes, I know that she has been part of the Styles now. She locked in and can't get unlocked, and we love that. That's all the way over there in Farine. And of course, locally we want to heal up Valerie, right above our heads here in Springbank. And then we want to hear my brother Courtney, who does link me on Facebook and say, "I'm there." And I say, "Yes, I there, and we're there." And the whole way there, we're upon the Metamorphosis in StylzFM. Yeah, Metamorphosis. I hope you have your tools, you know, because we say transformation requires equipment. You must have your dictionary, you must have your Bible, pen, paper, your map. Yes, these are tools to help us to transform ourselves from mental slaves to masters of our own thoughts. Because that's what we're struggling, you know. How can we be rulers of our own minds? How can we decolonize our own thoughts? How do we remove the images of enslavement that capture our imagination? Because the image of God is important, supremely important. And if you have an image of God that is alien to your being, then you are a slave. Think about it seriously, you know. If the image of God that you think about when you close your eyes look like somebody who captured us once, yes, then you recognize you're still in captivity. But the captivity now is different because you have a visa, so you can fly up and down. How can you be a slave with a visa? What kind of business is that? But it can happen, you know, because you see, if you expand the plantation, widen the spaces that our plane can go through the plantation, you're going to need visa. And only some get it, you know, and some don't get it, and become a struggle. But hear me now, we're getting into identity. We're going to go into I word, sound, and power. Within the section now, we're going to look at identity. And I want them think about this before you hear the next music. Through our education system, we have been told that there are two forms of life. There are two kingdoms of life. Them say there is the animal kingdom. Them say there is the plant kingdom. Right. That's what we're getting on. That's what the British teach us. That's generally what's it taught throughout the whole academic world. Plants and animals. So you say, you have to make a choice. I'm going to talk to black people now. I don't really business nobody else right now. Where do we put ourselves? Are we plants or are we animals? Now everybody going to laugh, because they say, oh, after we couldn't be plant. We couldn't be plant. So by not being able to be a plant, we are automatically animals. No, that's how we get trapped, Yeah, man, we get locked up now, Yeah, it's kingdom of animals. All right, we're coming again.
StylzFM 96.1.
We're going to have a rise in our consciousness. Rise in our consciousness of our identity. What are we? Animals are plants. Gods are men. Yeah, you see more options? Are we gods or are we men? We can expand our concept of our own self-definition. Remember ourselves. Yeah, we're going to lift up ourselves, lift up our consciousness, rise above being chattel. Chattel is a consciousness of being an animal. No. Look, we're going to explore this animal thesis now, because it's a true education-wise, we get locked into the animal kingdom. Let's see if we can get out. Yeah, how do we get out of this animal kingdom and the animal behavior? Because within the kingdom of animals, there's a behavior. How do we get rid of this animal vibrations? And how do we move to the real level of ourselves? All right, here we go now. So, we have to look into the earth itself and where we really live and the type of life forms on the planet. And when we look at the history of the planet, you find that 2/3 of the whole planet is water. 2/3 is liquid. And you say 2/3 of the composition of I and I is also liquid. So we have some serious similarities in how we construct. All right. So now, life forms on the planet. What is the most ancient life form on this planet? We have to go into our own story and our own mythology, because nobody wasn't there when the planet quote unquote started. So we have to begin to use our own imagination, our own historical experiences, our own DNA memory to recreate and reconstruct our story in terms of how the earth set up. But you see, scientifically, we can make some easy observations. We know that water is the most important thing that we need to keep earth life going. We need oxygen. We know that in order to breathe, there must be oxygen in the atmosphere. We also realize now that the plants are an important kingdom, and the plants actually precede even the animals. Yeah, look at it historically now. In terms of life forms, you need the plants on the earth before you have animals in it, because it's the plants that will generate the oxygen to allow the animals to even breathe. So no, haphazard thing we're looking at now, it have a sort of progression to it. So plants now become the most, let us say, the original forms of life. But it's even before that, in the water now, we have life in the water, Yeah, we have life in the water. So the water now become an important starting point to explore where life come from, in terms of even on the surface. Because there's water and life in the water before life come on land. You see now, normally when you go to school, they don't carry back into this type of specific looking. They must give you a thing like, well, there's Adam and Eve and there's a Garden of Eden, and then there was the primates who became men and Homo sapiens, and it's done. Now, nothing wrong with you telling you that, but you see, as we get more information, we're in a position where we can re-examine, look at the thing in a different way. So we're saying now, plants are the most ancient form. Plants create food. Because the plants the animals can eat. Yeah, the plants create oxygen because in the plant now it have an important property called pigmentation. Pigment. The thing now that will make a certain kind of people different. It is in the plants. Long before now we even think about man, This pigment now we call chlorophyll. And it's chlorophyll now that allows this green plant to feed itself and let off oxygen. Now this is a powerful activity taking place, Powerful activity is self-sustenance. This is a plant feeding itself and letting off energy to allow life to take place on the planet. That's why it's the green plants. Green plants are the foundation. That's why we were encouraged to eat green plants. Yes. Yeah, that's why we're encouraged to eat green plants, because the animals themselves have to eat the green plants. So we can skip the animals and go straight to the green plants and get the direct energy. But the system don't set up so. It's set up for you to get sick. Because the medical industry must make a money out of you, and those who bury you must make a money. It's a wicked cycle. So, yeah, we have to rise up the curiosity. Yeah, so we're saying no. Plants are powerful forms of life. Green plants. Now you see, I also have some other plants that are out there that are not green, Because in the kingdom of plants, you really have two kinds of plants. You have the green plants that make everything go. And you have plants now that live off those green plants. We call them parasites. In Jamaica, I think you have a bush called love bush. Where anything you throw upon green, you just suck on and just suck it down until it just dry up. No, I don't call that loving. I think that's a hate bush. Yeah, that can't be love. No, that's something that's suffocating and killing. So, plants are an important thing now. So, how does man come in this now? Because I say, we as black people, we're not fit in yet, All we see now is just a planet with plants and animals. How we fit in? Where we there? Where we there? Because look at the surface now. When you look at the life that is in the water, one of the first forms of life that could leave the water and come on land was the amphibians, what we call the frogs. Because the frogs them develop now a different breathing system besides the gills. The frog them develop lungs and gills, so they could do both things. So they could take oxygen out of the air and they could take oxygen out of the water. So it's a progression in life forms until the earth became populated with animals. All kind of reptiles, things will creep out of the way. Hey, if the ocean ever dry up, man run away, Serious thing. Metamorphosis. Plenty kind of life out there.
StylzFM 96.1.
Yeah, we're looking into identity through the kingdom in which we have been placed in terms of a form of life. Anybody out there a stone? I doubt it. Yes, because we put the stone in a different type of... Some people think the stone dead, you know. But they say what we call non-living, it's still alive, you know, because there's movement within it. The atoms and the protons are moving within the stone, you know. Just that you're not seeing it. And life is about movement. So anywhere there's movement, there's life. So there are those who can reason and say that everything is life. And there's life in everything. And some people respect all forms of existence, thinking that life is in all things. So again, just another perspective. But here we go again now. Let's try to find out what we self. You know, are we animals or are we plants? And are we neither? Because we can be neither, you know. Suppose we also discovered through this program that we are neither animals nor plants. What a bust out. Yeah? Yeah, man. Suppose we just really uncover that. Look at it. Look at it. All the while you have been tricked. But we have to work it out yourself. So hear what we're saying now. The plant kingdom is supreme. It keeps everything alive. The plant actually link up to the sun. Yeah, because I see the sun now, and the sun make everything on the planet work, you know. Not no S-O-N, not them tricky and think about no S-O-N, you know. We're talking about the sun. The son of God, not the S-O-N of God, you know. The S-U-N of God. So the plants now draw energy out of the Son of God through the form of light. The same light now that a certain kind of people go and draw energy from too, you know. But I might tell you, you know, there's a link between a certain kind of people and the green plants, you know. I wonder if them know is who. So the plants, again, pulling energy out of the sunlight, transforming themselves, creating sugar, creating oxygen, creating a cycle that the earth now can become habitable. So animals are on it. And through certain scripture, we hear that there are fish in the ocean and birds in the sky, and all these things now would occur over a certain amount of eras. Not days in the traditional 24 hours, but in eras. Each of these eras would take probably 10 million years, 100 million years. So we're looking at a planet that is 5.6 billion years old. So you say, I and I, the people now, we're ancient, you know, we're in the millions. Don't make nobody trick you. They will just come. You see the man who going to Mars, them know, say, we there. The millions. Them know that, you know. That's why them going out there, they want to know where we come from. But we them must search for, you know. They might explore the blackness to find where these black people come from. But we too afraid of the black, we didn't want to go out there, you know. And we think there's a heaven out there. Looking at them on the thing, mix up. But we're going to work our way out of it. First thing we have to do is get out of the animal kingdom. Yeah, first thing we have to do is escape that kingdom. True knowledge. So we have big up the plant them. I'll show you that green plants are supreme. The green plant them link into the sun, and everything makes the earth move. Now, how do black people enter the picture? I could continue to look at the life in the ocean. Because in the ocean, we have some forms of life what we call the fish. Now you see the fish? Fish are very interesting life form, you know. The fish falls into a category, you know, that we're going to call a vertebrate. And again, they put us in, once you accept that you're an animal, them say animals have two types of animals. They have the vertebrates and the invertebrates. Remember say we them up classify now, you know. Them say the vertebrates have a spine, a spinal column, and the invertebrate don't have none. That's a simple example, a jellyfish. Jellyfish don't have no spine. That's why them say when you're spineless, it behave like a jellyfish. You know, when you're spineless, it means you don't have no guts. You can't stand up. So the metaphor makes sense. So within the animal kingdom now, you have the vertebrates and the invertebrates. And them say now, human beings are vertebrates. It's only that now, you know. I remember only saying it's animal. Not only say you're animals, you say that you are an evolution from the primates. You know what the primates is now? It's a line of monkeys, you know. Hey, black people, make a check. Where would they know, you know? Where we really put ourselves in terms of identity in this whole scientific framework. So, in the animal kingdom, we have vertebrates and invertebrates. But we could explore the vertebrates. They have a spine. They have a brain and a spinal column. And that's a very important structure. Because I see the fish have a spine too, you know. And the fish have a brain. So, we have a serious similarity now, you know, between how we construct and how the fish set up. And you know that there are people who will tell you that the bone at our rear end, the coccyx, is really the end of a fish bone. Not the bone of a monkey, but a fish bone. So there are those who try to make the link between I and I as a people actually emerging out of the sea. Fantastic. Not true. Metamorphosis. Yeah, the sounds of Jackie Me Too. El Bang Bang. Yeah. El Bang Bang. The sound that, you know. Yeah, Metamorphosis, exploring self and identity through the definitions given to us in the lens of or in the discipline of science. So the animal plant dichotomy is there. And if we try to really see ourselves as animals, then we begin to take on this attitude now of being the superior animal. Yeah, because when we look around us, we see that other animals behave in what we call organized ways. They have their family units and they have their instincts and behaviors. What we find is that within the beings that are called human beings, there's a whole heap of strife and struggle and superiority struggles and who is have dominion over all things and who is master and who is slave. We find that that is what's happening within the human race, the human beings. Is that what we must see ourselves locked into? And the whole notion of the animals being the source of human beings, and that the primates, the apes, are the ancestors, and therefore the behavior is animal behavior. We have to remove ourselves from that framework. Now, you see along the line of the plants, we have more similarity between the plants than even the animals. Because you see, look at ourselves. You see the melanin in our skin as black people is what links us to the plant kingdom. Yeah, it is the power of pigmentation. It is the pigmentation activity that is in the green plants and that is in black skin that keeps the black people close to the plants. We have limbs. We have arms. Yeah, we have skin. And the skin is similar to the leaves of the green plant. So you see, within the earth kingdom, it is not impossible for I and I to recognize that not only are there animals and that there are plants, but there could also really be a kingdom called man. And there could also be the fact that we could also consider that we are neither plants or animals, but we could really be gods. Hard to think about, because we've been so locked into the animal kingdom and the image of God has been projected as something higher than us. But we also could be gods. Yes, reality, in our definition, we are the gods. There is no higher power other than the I.
Strong meditations get to my head. Without guitar, under my favorite tree, and your inspiration living in me. I play and play, and sing, releasing the inspiration within. Written that is a song, yeah, for everyone. A song beating. White to sun, very breathing. Now others might just love the rhythm. Oh yeah, and some, yeah, little meaning. But always it will remain a song. Maybe a little too long, or maybe a little too short. But a song, yeah, from my heart. A song, your song, yeah, and I song, Skippy Bird, and Jaja song, the mighty. A song, beautiful ones, your song, yeah.
Yeah, Metamorphosis here with Dr. Iman Blak, exploring self through the constructs of science. What we've been given in our education system, that through these lenses we view ourselves. But in that view, sometimes it's a skewed perception of ourselves. And it leads to the behavior that we're actually trying to get away from. So let us say that we are neither plants nor animals. Let us say we are divine beings. For those who embrace the scripture, we can say when God said, let us make man, that it was that man, that divine being, that the word uttered. No, that being was neither animal nor plant. Yes. We have to begin to view ourselves then, if we're going to embrace that doctrine as a source of information. So man is a kingdom, separate from the animals and separate from the plants. And it is the black people that are that original kingdom of man. So we have to reconfigure, and redefine ourselves. So we're not animals. And we don't come in from the Darwinian theory. But we are man coming out of the word. Serious construct. But we have to revise and rethink and rewrite our own story. Now we see along the lines of identity. In Jamaica recently, language has become an important point of debate. In our place in Jamaica here now, we are arguing about whether English should be the standard language or whether Patois should be the standard language. And it's been going on for decades. That people in higher places think that Patois is a language of the lower people. And the people in lower places think that the Patois is universal and has energy and rhythm and culture. And therefore, it should be considered even the mother tongue. There are those who think that English is a foreign language, which it is, and should be taught in the same way Spanish is taught. And so as we go back and forth, wasting energy and time on how to speak, you see those who want to be useful in this whole Patois debate, I am saying, let us rewrite Marcus Garvey's philosophy in Patois. You see, if we really want a change in the culture and the behavior of the people, I would think Patois is an important language. I would think Garveyism is important to our liberation. Make a rewrite Garveyism in a Patois. Yes, and circulate that to the schools. And use that as a pilot project to see if Patois gets the message across. Because we have been reading about Garvey in English for years, and nothing has happened. Make a try put Garveyism in Patois. And use up the powers of our language now to transform our own society. So that's a little word on the language thing. And before we come out of this I-word, sound and power section and identity, the last point we're going to look at is the whole notion of colors. And again, it is the education system that gives us the idea of what is a color. And it is that same system that have us calling now the original man, the colored man. Right? It's that same education having us call black people, people of color. And I'm going to challenge that definition because I'm saying we are people without any color. We are the people that are like water in our complexion. We are natural. The whole notion of color, we are informed through the principles of light. And again, we must make our reference to the Almighty S-U-N, because all light comes from the sun. And when the sun sends forth its light, and it is diffracted with water, we are given the experience of seeing colors. That's in the rainbow. Another word for colors is hues. H-U-E-S. So we see 7 hues coming out of light. And from those 7 hues, we say that there are 7 colors in the rainbow. Now, when we speak about people of color, the people of melanin are neither violet, indigo, red, blue, or green, or gold. If you slap a Caucasian, he can turn into any of those colors. Yes, he can become red, he can become yellow, he can become green, he can become blue. The black people are natural people. And so we are not people of color. We are natural people. And if we begin to redefine ourselves positively, we will begin to see who really is the human. Because the human is the colored man. And the human is not man. Metamorphosis, StylzFM. Africa and world affairs, our story on the Metamorphosis. Yeah, this is where we deal with Africa as a continent, Africa as a space, Africa as a critically historical important place. Some people call it the cradle of civilization. I think that civilization pre-existed Africa, but that would take me into Atlantis and return me to the Caribbean and Atlantis, Antilles, different region. But I also want to just comment on a request by text from Danny White. Danny White wants to know how can he get to see last week's program. So I'm going to give the information for all who are interested in looking at the previous Metamorphoses, things that you have missed. You can go into StylzFM.com. When you go into StylzFM.com, you'll see a very pretty window that comes up. And you go into the section that says, look at me live. Watch live. And when you go to that section now, you end up in a little region that says videos. And if you click into that videos, you'll see all the previous programs have been dated. That's StylzFM.com. Looking at me live into the videos, and you'll see previous programs of the Metamorphosis. So that's for Danny White and for listeners who are not able to pick me up live. Yeah, we're here for you. So into African or world affairs, and always maintaining. This is following the tradition of Dr. Ben Yokanan, that until we reclaim ancient Egypt as black culture, we'll always be chasing images that are alien to us. And the image of God, again, is a very important image in controlling people's psychology. And in ancient Egypt, we are introduced to the images of God and goddesses. This is what is absent in Christian doctrine. Because in the Christian doctrine, there are no females in the cosmology of the deities. It's all masculine. And we African people are not accustomed to that type of dominance. We are accustomed to the female having her sense of expression. The ancient Egypt is very important. It should be taught in all schools. And in teaching about ancient Egypt, we must remind ourselves that this is not a place that is in anywhere called the Middle East. Egypt is not in the Middle East. Egypt is on the African continent. And the people of ancient Egypt are Africans, black Africans. And so the pharaohs, even the word itself is a bit threatening, pharaohs. But these are black men who are blacker than night. Yes, but because of the education system and the religious doctrine, Pharaoh is created as an enemy. And who challenges Pharaoh? None other than Moses. And so it is biblical history now that is used to counteract African history. Biblical history now introduces a character called Moses. And Moses is going to come onto the stage. Yes, it's a stage, come onto the world stage. And onto that stage now, who he's going to be? He's going to put up against the black pharaohs. He's going to be put up against African culture. And in that clash, Hollywood wins. Yes, Hollywood and Charlton Heston and Tony Curtis and all these guys win. And we, the little black people now in the theaters, that cheer for these white heroes. And we begin to condemn Pharaoh. And we cheer when the Red Sea covers Pharaoh and his forces. And we celebrate Moses. And in that celebration, we disconnect ourselves from ancient Egypt. And so Pharaoh now becomes the enemy. Even in the tradition of Rastafari, which in its revolutionary state still views Pharaoh as the enemy. So if we're going to reconstruct ourselves through knowledge, we have to re-establish Pharaoh as the God King. Yes, we have to resurrect our kings and our gods. And our God kings are the pharaohs. And the pharaohs set the empire of Africa and set black people and set culture around the planet. We can't make a youth like Moses becomes the wedge between black culture and what King James has to offer. We have to return to ancient Egypt in the fullness of ourselves. one of the things that ancient Egypt exposes to us, for those who are curious enough, is that when you're taken into the tombs, into these fantastic constructions by I, and we explore the images and the drawings on the wall of these tombs, one of the images that have surfaced represents a man in a space suit. Now, hear this now, you know. We are in 2012, and we see the Europeans and the Americans, white people in general, making these journeys with spacemen, trying to get to distant planets. You see on the walls in some of the tombs, you have drawings of man in a helmet, in a rocket ship. So what these things show us, you know, is that the rocket ship and space travel was not something foreign to the ancient Africans. And that is verified by the culture of the Dogons in Mali, the same place that they're destroying now. The ancient Dogons had a consciousness about space travel, because the ancient Dogons knew about this constellation Orion, and they knew about the dark star Sirius. All these things are new information now to the Europeans that has whet their appetite to try to even get to Sirius. Yeah, but we realize what Africa has, you know, and the information and the knowledge that the Africans possess. So space travel is not alien to the ancient Africans, because it's very obvious from the culture of the Mayans and from the culture of the very ancient Atlanteans that space travel was something that the Africans had mastered. Yeah, man, we have to remember ourselves, you know. We have to remember ourselves and know that if the Dogons knew about Sirius, and if the Dogons knew about the invisible star that goes around the Sirius star, how could they have seen an invisible star? So I'm saying the knowledge of astronomy and space travel was known to African people in the millennium, thousands and thousands of years ago. Metamorphosis, breaking new ground in thought. Yeah, the sound of Gone Silk. The Rastaman reinterpreting Africa as Zion.
Stretching forth his right hand. Oh, it's like a family reunion. Family reunion.
Yeah, a lot of black people in the Western world still do not understand the importance of Africa. You know, the education system still encourages people to think of Africa as a barbaric place, as a place of war and famine and tribalism and all sorts of disease. That is the media. But behind that lies the richest continent on the earth. This is why the struggle. This is the place that has all the diamonds, all the platinum, all the minerals, all the cocoa. It is Africa that is really feeds the whole world. And the world now is feeding on Africa, and the Africans are not the beneficiaries. Because we are in a position where we're not even claiming being African. If we cannot claim the identity, we cannot claim the land. Very, very serious thing, you know. So Africa is an important place, but because of our attitude towards Africa, because of our lack of knowledge about our story, we are convinced that it is a barbaric place. Our biblical teachings have disconnected us from Africa. That old crossing through the Red Sea has taken away the consciousness of many, 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 many black people. Because in most of the Christian minds, those events are literal. And so there had to be a way that you could take the people's consciousness out of the continent. Our physical bodies were removed, yes. We were physically uprooted and taken out of Africa. But how do you uproot the minds of the people? How do you uproot the consciousness of the people? Different methodology requires a different type of brain washing. And in that brainwashing, you have to wash away the blackness that is Africa. So Africa now becomes a place that nobody wants to identify with. Yet the Europeans are all flocking into Africa. And now the Chinese are trying to take over the continent. What is it about the continent that attracts these alien forces? What is it about the continent that we don't understand? Why is it we have this deep distrust and hatred for the continent? It's in the teaching. It's in the education system. It's in the religious system. And although the Christian Bible tells us of Ethiopia, and that the Garden of Eden and the rivers that flow out of the Garden of Eden went around Ethiopia, the black people still are not able to put Ethiopia in that high position. We're still thinking that Ethiopia isn't even off the continent of Africa. So it's an identity issue. And as we look into Africa and world affairs and our story, we have to keep focusing on the fact that Africa is the centerpiece of our consciousness. We have to claim the land, we have to begin to develop what we call an Afrocentric perspective. That we look at world events through the eyes of the African. No, Africa is a national identity. The racial identity of the people is really their black selves. So we are black people. And it is the black people that must reclaim Africa. It's a very simple thing, you know. So the people who live on an island like Jamaica, that are black people, the people who are refusing to call themselves Africans and to call themselves Jamaicans, we have realized that there's a land and there's a continent that is original to all black people. That continent is Africa. So the Chinese, though he lives in an island of Jamaica, he still calls himself a Chinaman. He has never been to the continent. He has never been to China. He doesn't necessarily speak the Chinese language, but he embraces Chinese culture. Unashamedly, he holds on to the Chinese name. I've never seen a Chinese man named Smith. Never seen a Chinese man named Brown. Nor Richardson. But when you look into black people's life and black people culture, we have all of these alien names. that takes us away from our own identity. So you see, the African thing, it's important. There was a time when people were adopting African names. It became fashionable, but the real meaning fell out, because the meaning in your name is what you're going to use to resonate in terms of elevation of your consciousness. If you call yourself dog, there's no elevation in consciousness, because the dog really moves on 4 feet and the dog sleep on the ground. So how you identify yourself? So you're African. Are you African? Are you black? The people in America, the blacks in America, are resistant to call themselves Africans. So they call themselves African Americans. They're unwilling to call themselves black. So you see the identity issue? It can be resolved. But we have to recognize our landmass, that the landmass is Africa, that Africa is the national identity, and that our racial identity is being black. So the metamorphosis, looking at Africa in world affairs, looking at our story, recognizing that space travel that is current today is not a strange thing to the people of Africa. The people of Africa have heritage and artifacts that show that the Africans were conscious of being able to travel through the cosmos, that the Malian people knew about a different solar system. And so therefore, for the first time, maybe in our long time, we can conceptualize of black people's genesis coming from a place different than the planet Earth. You see, until we're able to lift ourselves out of the Garden of Eden, we forever trapped into the philosophy of white supremacy. So we have to begin to use the experiences that we receive. Know that space travel is not a novel thing, but I and I as African people have made these type of journeys. It's very difficult to reconnect because Christian history separates us from our African history. The Mayans understood traveling through space. The ancient Egyptians, the Atlanteans, the Malians, all these people understood space travel. Metamorphosis, Dr. Ayman Blak, looking at Africa in world affairs, looking at our story. How is it that we can use our knowledge to transform ourselves from believers in superstition to having knowledge of science and technology? The ancient Africans who knew about space travel did not need any higher power. They needed no concept of a savior. They needed no concept of a creator. These are images that are holding us in our meditation. So we need to free yourself now from this belief in this Most High, this higher power that watched us while we were in the bottom of the slave ship.
Mama Africa, Mama Africa, am I coming home? Am I coming home? Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I'm feeling fine, and I hope you're fine too. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I hope when you hear these words, your grace turn blue, grace turn blue. I'm saying these words to let you know how much I care, and I won't let go. Even though we're oceans away, you're with me day by day. Memories of you keep flashing through my mind. The very thought of you make my time. Hello, If not in me, then
make we do it. And if you're ready, make we do it. Make we do it for Jah. Make we do it Rastafari. Make we do it the roots and culture. Make we do it. And if you're ready, make we do it. Make we do it and make we do it. Make we do it and make we do it. Make we do it. Make we do it. Every nation have to 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 do it. Make them do it, yeah, make them do it. Make them do it, yeah, make them do it. Do it for Jah. Rastafari. Do it roots and culture. Do it for Jah. Rastafari.
Metamorphosis. We are do it. We are do it for the blackness of ourselves. Some call it I, Jah. But Jah is the I within. Yeah. Nothing outside of thyself. But Jah is the I within. Yeah, the Metamorphosis here with Dr. Iman Blak on StylzFM, healing the people who are near, healing the people who are far, healing the people who are right next door. Yes, giving thanks every time to be able to make this link, to encourage ones and ones. So use up that important sense that comes out of the head, the sense of thought, using up the brain power. And as black people now, we use that extrasensory perceptive organ, and we begin to use our skin. Because suppose our mind was really in our skin. You ever think about that yet? Every time you tell a man to say he must use the mind and point him head. Suppose our mind was really our skin. Think of the size now of our skin. And the fact that we are surrounded by our skin. Yeah, that could be the mind, you know. which can see all around us, 24/7 and 360 degrees. Because out of the mind now will become the organ of sensations, and it will become the organ of feeling. So if we can project the mind into the skin, then the skin will have the capacity to feel. And then we could develop our intuitive powers now. Yes, man, the sense of intuition, which is a level of feeling that is way beyond emotion. So as we're going to go into our next deconstruction section now, we're going to look within this section now at the image of God. Because we've all been given that image through education, both religious and academic. And how important is this image? And does this image really guide us? And do we need to continue under the guide of the image of God? Deconstructing mythologies, deconstructing fables, deconstructing nursery rhymes, looking at proverbs, looking at the devices of English that capture our imagination. One of the important things within the mythologies and the lectures and the reasoning to religion is that of the image. And we have been given an image of God. Yes, an image of God. We get that through reading the scripture, particularly the book of Genesis. And in that imagery, and think about what an image is. It's really a representation, a sort of symbol. We have images that are physical. For example, a photograph is an image, two-dimensional. And they have mental images, things that we hold on to in our imaginations, things that we hold on to in our, what we call our mind. So these images motivate. The images actually can captivate. And so as a people, we have been given an image of God. And we have been told that God is the superior being. God is the supreme being. God is the higher power. God is the most high. And we have been told now through the scripture that man, male and female, were created by them. And them represents the creator. Now, if we read the language properly now, them is a plural noun. And God would suggest that it should also be a plural God. In other words, it should be the gods that said, let us make man. It should not be a single entity if we follow the laws of English. But we break the laws to suit ourselves. And so we say that God is a single entity, and God said, let us make man. In the image and likeness made he them. What does that tell us? Does it tell us that God has a physical image, and that physical image would make God have 2 hands, 2 feet, a head, eyes, and have the same image as a human being? Because remember now, in the definition of whether we are plants or animals, we are told from another point of view that we were created by God. Now, the image of God is that God either has a physical image and God has a spiritual image. The physical image of God would show that God has 2 hands and 2 feet and looks like man. The spiritual image and the mental image of God is where the problem rests. Because in that mental imagery, we put a racial identity to God. Because we have to view God now within the imagery of 2 hands and 2 feet and a head and eyes and nose. So what is the image of God that we have been given? If it is the image of God, according to Genesis, where God makes man in his image and likeness, and we look at ourselves, and if God is in our own image and likeness, then God looks like a man or a woman or both. But in the realms of the mental imagery, the mental imagery of God is that of a man, and as a formerly enslaved population, we were forced to believe that the image of God was that of a white image. And if you ask most people today to close their eyes and think of an image of God, and think of the God now as a man in the same physical format, what color would they see God in? And in reality, the image of God has been colonized. And the Europeans have captured the image of God and has transformed that image of God into the image of the slave owner. And so if you ask most people in their imagination where the image rests, because the image either rests in the imagination or rests in the memory. Basically 2 places. We store our images in our imaginations or in our memories. And we explore those imaginations, look at those images. 95% of the black people's image of God is white. Yes. And a lot of the black people now are also struggling to be whiter than snow. It's a teaching, it's a philosophy, it's an ideology that supports white supremacy. Metamorphosis, looking at the image of God. And the relevance of Marcus Garvey, who tells us that if you're going to look at God, we must see him through the spectacles of the African. Brainwashing. Don't have Robert Nesta Marley. We don't hear these songs so often, All we hear about is one love. But the brainwashing is an important operation that has been worked out on us. And it is surrounded about this imagery. Because the image motivates, And the image that we hold can also control. So this image of God, wherein God makes man in his image and likeness, males and females created he them. And when we work from that, it means that the image of God is that of an human being, and his image is also his mentality. When we explore the nature now of this character that we call God, it is cast in the Mosaic framework. And so, if we are made in the image of God and we accept the Mosaic nature of God, then we are jealous beings. Yes, because the God of Moses, in his imagery and his characteristics, is a jealous God. If we are made in the image and likeness of that God, then you understand why we suffer from jealousy and envy and bad-mindedness. They are connected, you know. Bad-mindedness is now a feature in everything in Jamaica. Even the artists now have been totally overwhelmed with the nature, with the whole notion of bad-mindedness. Nobody seems to be able to move beyond talking about bad-mindedness. But there's a source. It all connects to our perceptions. It connects to our belief system. It connects to what we view as the higher power. And the higher power that we have been given is governed by the behavior of jealousy. And if you read carefully the Mosaic law, and the very first law that has been imposed on black people, the first law considered to be the first of the 10 commandments. These are commandments that control the black people brain, you know. The Chinese people don't pay attention to these 10 commandments. They don't need these 10 commandments to guide them. They have their own philosophies, and they know that stealing is not good, and they know that murdering is not good, so they don't have to have any commandments. It's just a way of life, respect for family and so forth. But black people now, on this plantation, been given these commandments, and from Moses' days till now, those commandments have ruled us. And we have not elevated our life. What was the first commandment given to us by the God of Moses, whose image we embrace? It says, "Thou shalt have no other God but me." This is the heights of control. This is the heights of slavery.
Used to reduce my knowledge, because I will always break those barriers and burn down bondage. Oh Lord God Almighty, grant me all privilege. You see, I have to overcome all the wicked, them and them false things. I have no white God, don't teach me anything wrong. Who the white God save me from white man oppression? I have no white God, it's just a black messiah. A white God that bless, so him not blesses. I have no white God, don't teach me anything wrong. Who the white God save me from white man oppression? I have no white God, it's just a black messiah. If a white God that bless, so him not bless. I want what is rightful mine, so me not stay mute. Your system is designed to distract me from the truth, but it will come to pass. I know not to the youth. In the process of time, we will know the truth. To give we white God to praise in slavery. The doctrine follow on in the black community. The black messiah you try to shield with fantasy, but we not gonna make you destroy the love with luxury. That's why you have to touch home. I have no place in Babylon. As I go, they make me victim of their unjust action. Oh God, I won't be conquered in this region. Oh yes, I have to stand and go strong. Don't tell me of your white God, don't teach me anything wrong. Who the white God save me from white man oppress? I am no white God, it's just a black messiah. White God that bless you, him not bless. Oh, me face contact with anger, can't start no right. Oh, good all things, good and valuable must be white. So, what about the black that did the most in life? You want your white supremacy, watching me and you change the version of the Bible. Oh, you watching me.
Yeah, well, we examine this whole imagery of God now, you know, because since God is so important to black people, the image is supposed to be resonating in and on behalf of black people. So the image should not be counteracting and contradicting and opposing and oppressing black people. Otherwise, we have to let go of that image. And the image is kept in our minds, in our imagination, and in our memory. So we have to return into these places and look at this imagery that we have. Does it look like the owner of the plantations? And then what about the son now of this white God? This son now that has been sent, that has been stripped from the powers of the SUN, And this SON that has been sent to us, we are being told also that we must not look at his racial lineage. But we don't have to look at it because the mind implies that if the father is white, so is the child. Whereas the mother, they don't tell me about the mother. We don't know what was the race of Mary because she was impregnated by this image of God. So we have to be careful now. Because when we look at the imagery now of the Son, when we look into the Catholic churches and look around the world, the imagery of the Son of God is a Caucasian. Long hair and blue eyes, thin nose, thin lips. That is the imagery. And so the people of African descent, the black people who have been socialized into the imagery of the image of God now, is seeing the son of this God. And this son doesn't look like them either. The son looks like the father. And the father is white in his imagery. So how can we be saved from white man oppression if we have to call upon a white God and his white son? The Chinaman is free from all of that, you know. Chinaman not caught up in that struggle at all. The Chinaman has his own space station now. Yes, and the Chinaman is about to colonize the moon. So he's not caught up into this ism and schism, you know. The Indians also have their own space program. It's just a black people thing. It's we one caught up into this illusion of this savior and of this son. And then again now, when Rastafari emerge and begin to show that this son had to be coming from a father who looked like I and I. Because following on Garvey's teaching, we had not begun to see the image of God in our own black spectacles. And so when we begin to change the imagery and see the image of God now as a black African, and we begin to see the son as an African, then the imagery of redemption is closer to hand. But as long as the head remains that of the oppressor, then we forever become slaves to the mental imagery. Before leaving this section, you know, I wanted to say something about liberation through identity. The Rastaman comes out of the Christian framework. And the Rastaman identified Haile Selassie as the returned divinity. The Christians, of course, are waiting for the divinity to return because they have been told that Jesus shall come back sometime in the future. Now, the Christians are also criticizing the Rastafarians because they say Rastafari grew locks and Haile Selassie did not grow locks. Well, I want to ask the Christians this. How is it that Jesus Christ grew his locks and you Christians are all bald heads? Metamorphosis.
Them can't take my soul, you know.
So you lock them down and you think
So we say no, we don't want to water down and dilute the thing. But we want to really ask the ones them, how is it that the Christians who are following Jesus Christ's way and his lifestyle and his philosophy? Jesus was a Nazarene, born in Nazareth. The Nazarenes took a vow never to cut them hair, nor to drink strong liquor. Just like Samson, the Nazarene all grew locks. So we want to know now, how is it Rastafari growing locks? And the Christians are bald-headed. The Rastaman have been told that Selassie didn't have locks, but Jesus had locks. The locks thing serious. Rastafari, I have a message. Yes, Christians, take a look.
Come around with your white lies, trying to blind everyone's eyes, but them a whole a meditation. Oh, in the iration. Them a follow Rastafari, and I live upright. So tell me where you are gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. That the youth are all them roots. You can't water down and dilute. You can't hide the truth from the youth. You can't steal the fruit, not the root. Cause the youth are all them roots. You can't water down and dilute. You can't hide the truth from the youth. You can't steal the fruit, not the roots. Hey, cause the youth are all them roots. Live up now, youth. Live up now. Live up now. Hey, live up now, youth. Live up now. Youth, all your roots. Hey, them can't water down and dilute. Them can't hide the truth from the youth. You can't steal the fruit, not the roots. Cause the youth are all them roots. Water down Cause the youth are all them roots. Water down and dilute. Hold on to your roots. Hide the truth from the youth. Youth, hold your steal the fruit. Youth, them are all them roots.
Yeah, Metamorphosis. We are going to our news and section thing about. I am really, really serious about the one them think about this, you know. That the Rastaman trod in the trod of Jesus. The Christians opposing the Rastaman for his look. The look is the look of the Nazarene. Yeah, serious thing going on in the earth and the importance of the hair. That the hair is really a political symbol representing your identity. So in our school system, for example, in Jamaica, when the Indian youth come to school, him can do anything with him here, you know. Yeah, man, we call him consider it's cultural behavior. The Chinese man come with him here, twist up and, you know, kind of locks and thing. It's okay. When the African presents himself in his own blackness, he was told that he must shave and clean up and look neat. Yeah, it's a part of the Roman Empire. People shave, and the power rests in our hair and within our antenna. Metamorphosis into the news.
StylzFM 96.1.
There's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find to bring some loving here today.
Yes, news time. That's how we do it here on the Metamorphosis.
Whoa, oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east. Whoa, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Oil wasted on the oceans and upon our seas, fish full of mercury. Mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be. No, radiation underground and in the sky. Animals and birds who live nearby are dying. Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used.
Yeah, 2012. Yes, Olympics done now and the world soon done. So them tell you, you know. Yeah, man, them say the world getting done in 2012. We only have 4 more months to go. So they better hurry up and do what they do, you know. Yeah, man, just buy up all for things and, yeah, man, just bring your money, come give me. Yeah, imagine it. Panicking at the earth, you know. While the man them dip on Mars, I drive a little rover. And done are going done. You know, we as a people, we have to begin to look into this thing, the propaganda, carefully. Look at the series of events that are occurring and how practical is it for 2/3 of this planet to just dry up and for all the fish in the ocean to just die and all the trees to just die suddenly, that there's no more oxygen. Come now, man. Make we think about it carefully. This thing going on for millions of years. This thing will go on for another few millions of years. World without end. World without beginning. But how do we fit in? Where are we as black people? Right now, we are just the consumers and the slaves. We just consume what the Europeans and the white people make, and we just work hard for them. So I say, no, when is it we're going to take a grip of ourselves? Look at who we are and what are we? Sometimes the question is not about who am I, you know. I've asked yourself the question, what am I? Yes, different perspective. The who part, personal. But what about what? What am I? And then you begin to think about forces. What type of force you represent on this planet. Because the Christianity tell you that we are insignificant. We are just like specks of dirt because we're just passing through, going into the real world after. And I'm saying stop. Everybody is significant. Everybody is important. Who is the most important person who ever born? It must be you. It can't be Jesus. Think about it. Whose birth you rather see? Your birth or Jesus' birth? Yeah, who's more important in the scheme of things? The I or another I? In other words, now, we have a level where we think about I am, you know, and the existence. And as much as a person is in a different and struggling conditions, nobody really wants to exchange with them I with the next one I, you know. When you think about it, you know, you just want to maybe have better conditions. But you really want to hold on to the I who is the I, you know. The I where you know from you before you could have called your name, you know. You don't want to let go of the I there, you know. Yeah, man, you love the I and respect the I there, you know. But even if that I experiencing agonies and the next I having prosperity, you don't want to swap I. You want to swap the conditions. So let us say the man have a house and a car and plenty woman and thing. You don't want to be him, but you want to have what him have. So you have a tremendous amount of respect for your own I. And it's that we want to empower. It's that we want to give a sense of identity and recognize that it is black. And the blackness of that I doesn't make it inferior to those who are not black. So if we take ourselves out of this inferior attitude and begin to recognize that the world is here to stay. How we know that? It's wars. Wars have been fighting ever since the world set up. If you remember the first early introduction about the planet, you see insects and those forms of life before man, All of those insects engage in war. You have ants war. Yeah, man, where battlegrounds are drawn. Because you have soldier ants, you know. You have nurse ants for heal up the ants that get injured in war, you know. So, you see battles? Battles are things that are taking place on the planet from the times of the insect. So when we see ourselves as black people, we recognize that, yeah, a war is being fought. But the war is being fought amongst races. Is that them the one we know, you know? Them don't want us to know that there's a racial war on. Them say it's an economic war. And them say it's a spiritual war. But they don't want to tell us that there's a racial war being fought. You see, when you go in America, you feel it. Yes, because America now is based upon race. And this election that is coming up now, this Obama versus Romney. Yeah, man, bitter to the end, you know. Bitter to the end. White man, they must say them want back them country. Yeah. So, those who think that race is just a little thing that you must ignore, and so it doesn't matter what race, well, it matters what race you are, it matters what race is in power. And so it must matter what race is the divinity that's running this whole power thing. Because when we pray now, who we praying to? When the white man prays and says, Lord God help me, the same man we want help you to when the white man hold we down? How can it work? So we will say no, we are start out to self as black people. And the black man in America now is going to go through the ultimate test because they think that Obama represents blackness. This is a great illusion because Obama doesn't represent blackness. It is more Michelle. Yeah, Michelle represents the blackness. And she's doing what she can to help black people. Obama can't get up talking about to help black people. Not gossip. Obama represents the military-industrial complex that runs America, that governs Jamaica, that runs the whole economic order. Is America runs the world in terms of military. So Obama is the chief commander-in-chief. Him can't tell a thing about no war in Afghanistan. You think him can stop that? You think him can stop anything? He's just there to rubber stamp and to conduct the business of Washington and the Pentagon and the Hollywood. Metamorphosis, Afrocentric views and news. Kingdom rise, kingdom fall.
Every move Babylon make is a wrong move, I say.
Yeah, the song tells us about what is London Bridge is falling, you know, and Babylon falling. And sometimes when we use the word Babylon, we misconstrue place I was speaking about. It's really Rome who want to fall long, you know. Babylon was really a great city built by black people. It's the Roman Empire that is problematic. And the military army of Rome fell, but the church of Rome continues its dominance on the imagery and the minds of black people. So when we look into our news section now, we're looking into America now and this upcoming elections between the Republicans and the Democrats. And the battle lines being drawn, of course, the lines are drawn along racial lines. And though the black people got a little reprieve in the last elections when Obama, for the first time, came to the White House and changed the face of America from being a country of bullyism and Bushism into a country of debate and reasoning. I know that we have been conned, and America is ready to show itself again. Them say enough of Obama. Obama must go back to wherever I'm coming from in Chicago. But it's going to be a battle to the end. And just like black people must stay conscious and recognize that Obama, put it this way, if he made another semester, another 4 years, when that 4 years up, it's done, you know. And it's done. It just done this up. Let's see if him get 4 years or 8 years. After the 8 years up, that is it. That is it for black people in the White House. Who next? I am saying the Hispanics next. And after the Hispanics, maybe the Chinese. Because they have a vision, you know, to take over everything. Yeah, them coming. Yeah, the Indians are there too. So I say the racial groups are moving. It's just the black people going as though we don't belong to no race. We's everybody. Yeah, man, we just everybody and we just one love. One big illusion. So we wake up and live. Recognize ourselves and see that, look, it's a blackness. It's not anything to be ashamed of. And being black don't make you racist. You see in America, them condemn black people in America who call themselves black. And that's why people run up and down and call themselves all these different words, you know. African American, and I'm colored, and I'm this. They don't want to say black because the impression that when you say black, you're racist. But a white man can call himself white. And he's not even white. He's a Caucasian. And he can call himself white without any apology, but we can't say we're black. Because black is a color. And what is black? And you're not black. Yeah, we're not black. So no, we are no brown people. Coming from the brown continent of Africa. Why I tell you. If.
My resistance is getting weaker. I just can't stand the pressure. I can't be any meeker. I've got to find me some of the treasure I need. Nothing to be a man because I was born a man, and I deserve the right to live like any other man. My mind is in such a state. Sometimes it makes me sick. At times I try to hate, but I just don't know the trick. I need nothing to be a man because I was born a man, and I deserve the right to live like any other man. Experience is taught me wisdom. Thank God I've got some life left. I'm getting out of soul. My soul has standing the test. I need nothing to be a man because I was born a man. I deserve the right to live like any other man. Yeah.
Yeah, Babandi, one of the greatest songwriters. Yeah, check him out.
StylzFM 96.1.
Just take these chains away and set me free.
to myself, observing all this time. From every angle I could see my people, you're meeting hell. Brothers have turned to crime, so they die from time to time. We'd like to ask you leaders, what have you got in mind? I see the fire spread.
Yeah, leaders of Jamaica. We're asking you, what do you have in mind for I and I as a people? Here locally, within the news section, the whole focus in the island now, this is the last day in August. The entire country now is focused on back to school. Back to school is an industry. Yes, a lot of people wait for this opportunity because there's a whole heap of spending. It's worse than when they say hurricane coming. Yeah, man, one rush going on this island. A lot of people abroad are being taxed now. The remittance lines are hot. As the dollars flow, put the school people back into business. A lot of newness, a lot of expenses are spent here. And the education system, of course, we hear that this is the first time they will introduce Garveyism into the school curriculum. We're not so sure what it's going to look like yet. But if we use our imagination and think of what Garvey would want the children to know, then this goes beyond simply teaching about mottos like up ye mighty race. You can accomplish what you will. It goes beyond saying the ends that you serve are selfish, will take you no further than yourself. It goes beyond that to a sort of maybe removing the contradictory image that is creating problems in the minds of the children. And again, it's an imagery about Jesus. Because it's going to be very difficult to teach about Garvey and to teach about Jesus. Because Garvey speaks about up ye mighty race. Jesus doesn't talk about a race. Garvey talks about economic empowerment and control of the powers of corridors of power in politics. Jesus talks about a kingdom that is in the heavens. So we have to decide amongst ourselves what is the important philosophy that we're going to teach as it relates to Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey talked about education, talked about empowerment, talked about racial identity, talked about African fundamentalism. None of these utterances come from the words of Jesus. And so if we're going to teach Garveyism, we have to leg out the teachings of Jesus. Yeah, it's a serious thing now, you know. We can't hold the both of them on this island. The both philosophies are contradictory. One engages and supposes that suffering is the way out. And Garvey is saying that we have been suffering so long. At this time we have our own ships, our own planes, our own transport system. Jesus don't talk about economic development. Yeah, man, it's all about poverty. So for 2,000 years we have been holding on to those teachings. I am saying, why not release ourselves and fully embrace the teachings of Marcus Garvey? Garvey is the God of black people. Metamorphosis.
Everyone got problems. Who can solve them? Everyone got problems. Who can solve
Yeah, Metamorphosis internal discourse. We don't see here, we didn't do the year of Jacko the engineer and passing through the drummer. Puss. And we really explore this whole idea of Jesus having all these women paying attention to him and leaving us men alone. But I feel that way, you know. Oh, one man can control so many women, and when we look at another woman, the woman never get vexed. Yeah, we're working on it, you know. We're going to get out of it. But step out of the animal kingdom. Step out of some other things. Yes, Metamorphosis. We're going through into sports.
The way that Maradona has been able to do. And he's helping England again here. This is a brilliant run. It's one of the World Cup great goals. Set.
They get away first time. Tyson Gay right alongside Usain Bolt, but here he goes, streaking away already. It's Bolt all the way. He's looking round at Gay. Watch the clock. It's goal for Bolt. And again, he's done it again. A new world record for Usain Bolt. They say lightning doesn't strike twice. The world belongs to Bolt. Berlin belongs to Bolt. 9.58.
Yeah, the land of Bolt. And Powell too. And Blake. Ashmead. BCB. Kellyanne Price. And the list goes on and on and on.
A land of pure beauty where blessing awaits for us all. And if your heart is clean, I know you will redeem in the land of the black, gold, and green. It is a land that is holy, the holiest land you'll ever see. And if we unite as one, I know we can understand about the land of the black, gold, and green. Holy, 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 the holiest land you'll ever see. It's a land of liberty.
Yeah, the sports is here. World of sports, of course. Athletics. We are the island. We are the world's greatest island of sprinters. We produce the world's greatest sprinters here, male and female. No questions about it. The big USA, you have to come here now. You have to start sending your athletes here for training. Yes. Yes. Uno going to come here now, and we're going to bring the US dollars and make it a part of the trade. So it is sports, that is going to be the center of our recovery, economically in Jamaica. The ruling class don't accept it yet. The ruling class think it should still be a situation where the blacks drive around in taxis and not have driving around in their own cars. And sports is transforming the lives of poor people, giving us access to material things that are difficult to achieve according to how the system set up. So we're circumventing the academic thing now, because them go on like the people who go to school can have money. Yes, and if you don't go to school, no, you're dunce. But the dunce, them getting rich. What a something. Yes, so the whole notion of dunce changing. It's like Rastaman, You say you have the money, they will check for you, But you say Rastaman have money, he's the greatest. Yeah, man. It's what money do. Money attract all kind of elements. You ugly same way, but you get better looking when you have money. Yes. So we have to be careful. People in sports, as you get the money, and you get the entourage, and you get the baggage and all the sort of followers, you have to organize yourself, because when the money is there, entourage will go. So Bolt, Blak, Ashmead, Jamaica 1, 2, 3, 4. The flag start look redundant on the TV now, like it's a local meet, and where we invite some foreigners. When it's we, the foreign people, them country, take with them money and them thing. Hey, reparations this, but we have to work hard for it. Well, I mean, I tell you, we have to work hard for this. Plenty training. But we like what's happening in sports. And what we really want to see is the transference to the island now, where we get some more stadiums being built. And where ISA can become a more professional body to help develop the athletes to an even greater level at the secondary school level. It's our mini Olympics. It is where the world comes to see our best athletes, and it needs to be upgraded. What we need in Jamaica is infrastructure for the poor athletes. Infrastructure that the rich can build, and like a man like Usain Bolt now can begin to think about building his own stadium, state of the art. Asafa, you can put a little money together with Nesta Carter and build a stadium too. And so you see, if we were to do that, and entertainers who were big in their money were to build some little entertainment centers, the country would change. So all that Grammy money, all that family who have that big name who winning the Grammy all the while. We now call the name, but we say those who have the money must put the money in for infrastructure in Jamaica. We need it in entertainment, we need it in sports. Those are the avenues for black people to transform ourselves from poor people to people with material wealth. Sports and entertainment. Infrastructure is the key. The trainers are here. The training is taking place. What we need is the physical infrastructure. Yes, we'll continue. Yeah, the big ball. This is the game that keeps the world connected. It's a runners. Athletics is a non-contact thing, you know. So the emotions don't rise as much as when you have a contact sport. Okay, so when a man lick a man, you feel it, you know. Yeah, man. Then you go to the match, you get a fever, you kick all the man in front of you when a man take a shot, you know. Yeah, man. It really gets you wound up, you know. This is the nature of football, you know. And in our country, we love it. Athletics is perhaps our #1 sport in terms of performance. And we've been doing things in the Olympics from 1948. Our first national team played in 1925. And we officially joined FIFA in 1962. So we are young. We are young in the football now, but we're hype up. We're hype up and excited because in 1998 we did something that very few countries do, which is qualify for the World Cup. And that process wasn't something that was developed the way athletics was developed. It just a kind of flash in the pan, a one lick, and everything worked together. And the FIFA was in our corner. The world was with us. 32 teams for the first time at the World Cup. Pure excitement. And so we rode along that wave. And we got there. And somehow we think that we arrived. But that was just a part of the journey. And here we are now, 12 years later, trying to make the same steps again. Faced with the same enemy. The big USA. The giants of the North. Taking on the people in the sunshine state of Jamaica. So, how can we translate and transfer some of that athletic prowess and determination and thing into the football? And run upon the man them and make them look like how gay look. You know, sort of wash up. Next week Friday at the National Stadium. Jamaica versus USA, World Cup qualifier. Important game, even the captain has now subtly threatened the coach. He has subtly told Whitmore that, hey, this is it, brethren. You know, like, say, let us say if we don't get past America, you know, we may be thinking about a new coach. It's pressure on the work, you know, and Whitmore knows the work. And the Brazilians, I think they may maybe even packing them bag and them not telling us. Because this American game, you know, it's so important that you wonder why sports become so important if the people are only playing. All of them are playing and the play gets so serious. Eh? What about the play that makes it serious? You know what makes it serious? It is the economic philosophy and the nationalism that surround the play. Two nations are meeting. And it's America versus Jamaica. And most of our players are playing in the United States. And we're not expected to win, but it's because it's football, and because we defeated, who was it in the last match? El Salvador. We have a little momentum going. I want to take that momentum to the stadium, and I'm encouraging all people to go to the stadium and cheer, especially if the team is not doing well. You must cheer. Our culture is that when we are losing, we sit on our hands. Yes, we sit on our hands when we're losing. And cuss and tell the worst things we can ever think about. The worst statement, and everybody cheer when you make the worst argument. And then now, the players on the field begin to feel that energy and realize that they're alone. Now, a national team is a national team. The players represent the nation, and so the nation must stand behind the players through thick and through thin. So I'm saying to all the supporters and followers and wagonists, we could take on America. Yeah, man, because, reggae boys, athletics, we run past them, and there's no, them doing a drug test on this. But our ballers, we're putting our feet in our ballers, and all we need is a draw. Yeah, man. We need a draw to stay in competition. We don't have to beat America, yes or no, you know. We must stay in contention with Guatemala. Because Guatemala also joined America at home. And the battle is for second place. So this is the reality of the World Cup. We must secure a point and stay level with Guatemala. Because the battle is between we and Guatemala. In Guatemala, that is going to determine who's going to come second. Coming out of the Metamorphosis. More ball. And of course, September is the time of the year when schoolboy football kicks off. Along with the National Premier League, all football is on the go now. Internationally, we have the La Liga and English Premier League and everything running. Industry start up again. And our thing in Jamaica starts here now in September. The Premier League starts Sunday. Most of the clubs are complaining that they can't afford the season because the club is, the football, our Premier League is really not viable financially. The salaries are not affordable by the clubs. There's no income by the gate. It's going to crash. But because we love it, we're trying to keep it afloat. But in reality, it's not structured properly. Sponsorship is vital. Even regionally, maybe we have to rethink the club structure. Maybe we have to bring in business houses to link up with the Premier League clubs. Maybe we bring in the hotel system to join the club system to reinforce the resources. It's just not working. But we have it, and we have to go through with it. Schoolboy football starts next week, Saturday, with a doubleheader at Jared Park. Of course, my interest is in the Eastern region. And, you know, them put my team in a zone, you know. I'll tell you how them set up, you know. About 15 zones that we play rural football. Rural football, of course, is the Costa Cup. And the urban football is Manning Cup. Well, I'm a rural man, because to me, that's the whole of Jamaica. Rural means 12 parishes. The town is not Jamaica. Right? So rural football is the football. They said there are 15 zones this year. You know which part my side line up, which zone? The last zone, the zone O. What I'm going to tell you? So we'll start from the very back, from the very end of the cow. Yes, St. Thomas. And our team is, my side really, we're going to just frighten some people this year. I'm going to say, we're going to frighten some people. And the youths, them learning certain strategies and tactics, and them very determined, talented, and of course, St. Thomas has never had a winner. Neither has Portland nor St. Mary. So the whole Eastern Confederation never had a Costa Cup winner yet. The best in the region has been Titchfield, getting to 2 finals in the D Cup and a Ben Francis final. But no the Costa Cup into the region. So guess what happened now? Watch what going on in the East. And when we say East, we mean fully East, you know, not Northeast, you know. Right, Northeast means you have to come around the corner. We're talking about straight East. So next week, Saturday, D Cup start, Manning Cup start. And I will keep people posted as what's happening in the Portland zone. Titchfield and Compre and Buff Bay, Fair Prospect, and Happy Grove will do battle. Top 2 spaces. And the same thing happens right across the parish. So this is the heights of Jamaican football, schoolboy soccer. It's the best thing the island has to offer in terms of organized football. Over 100 years old, we put months in the preparation. My side played enough match already. They are match ready. So, I man say so. Can't say me never want to know. Look to the east.
We will be so happy.
Yeah, it's a metamorphosis. Going through the stages and the changes into the Alpha and Omega. Looking at females and male issues. And is same-sex a reality? Or is it a contortion? Yeah, males and females. This issue now is problematic into the globe, but within black people culture, when we look at our story, there's never a time in our history when we had this problem that is in the world today now, where there's a conflict between the gender. That we have people who are of one gender saying that they're of the other, and that the two genders can come together. There's a whole lot of mix-up going on now, you know. This whole notion of same-sex. You see, Obama kind of turned it loose in America, you know. Can kind of give it approval. And because the military had so many gays in there, they are celebrating the most. Now you have gay officers and everybody openly declaring themselves as gay. So this gay thing taking over America and it's attempting to take over Jamaica. Now you see that takeover in Jamaica, it's not going so easy, you know, because we're going to fight it, you know. Because it's a procreation. Procreation is an important activity in keeping black people in existence. So we don't want to reach a point where we start procreate. Now, the same-sex issue, can you imagine now? They say it's all about love. So 2 males can love and 2 females can love. Oh, no problem with that. Now, why you want to adopt children? Why you want to adopt children and confuse these children that them having 2 daddies who, and one of them is their mommy? Eh? And them have 2 mummies and one of them is them daddy. Why you want to adopt children if you insist on having the same-sex relations? You want just having the same sex together and hold it? And why do you go around imposing now this so-called gay right? What about the rights of black people and the rights of Rastafari? Are you saying those rights are more important? And are you saying that my skin is something different? In other words, I know I was born in my skin, you know. But I don't know if you were born gay. Can people be born gay? So how can you equate gay rights with civil rights? It's a play on words to confuse I and I. But it's the one thing I know. It's a male and female. We love one another in a black culture. It's a black man. We don't think a dog is a man's best friend. In black people culture, a woman is a man's best friend. It is in the European culture we get this teaching about the dog. Now today, we now call each other dogs. We have to look at the teachings, re-examine ourselves, and recognize that we are here for each other. Male and female created he them. We are the race called man. Check out that tune here. This is woman talking to man.
Me and my lover just always a fight, but him know where for do for make me smile get bright. We war on him left and no come back till late in the hours with a bunch of the nicest flowers. Even though me vex, still me blood a boil. One look below the waist and me humble like a child. Can't help it, me couldn't hide the feeling. Plus him a thrill me with the more sweet talking. You know me not gonna knock you down, baby. Now me just want hold you down, baby.
Say this is the niceness about male and female, you know. Wow.
And before you know it is another
baby.
You know me now go box you down, baby. Now me just want hold you down, baby. Him say go and go put
because same-sex can't produce this. Same-sex relations, not about procreation.
When everything not work out right. But if you got anything like me and for me babes, when even when me just done my listen for days and I swear some me I go left if him not change him tricky ways. We love for one another make. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, you say impress them and the woman them crucial.
Are you ready?
They are not same business. We like the complementary side of living.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? When the roll is call out, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof. But if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name. I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on.
Yeah, the lioness must have a lion. Yeah, lioness don't deal with lioness, you know. Check out nature. Lion, lioness. All who want to talk about lion for there with lion. Them is lions. Yeah, we're not into that, brethren. We're into promoting family. And the African family structure is under threat. And once you destroy the African family culture, family system, they will really become individual zombies. Slaves will be taken to Mars to work on the colony. Sound like a joke, but it's serious. African families, crucial. And it's the male and the female that holds the African family together. You see the European people and the people of America, they are creating some things now called test tube children and sperm banks and all kind of people. You know, to some man fire some gun now. Some man put on some Batman show and a Lego some shot and some man 34th Street building a Lego shot. All kind of weird people out there now, you know. And I'm saying, a lot of these people maybe never come from a man and a woman. A lot of these people walking around are probably test tube generations. Sperm banks who lack soul, confused, no spirit, no identity. So them is Batman now. Next time them is Superman. And so they will jump out of buildings and try to fly. Yes. You see the male and the female, black people, make it all dear. Yeah, man, make it all respect within the genders. Yeah, man, and the children and the offsprings are crucial for posterity. So I say, burn out the same-sex identity. Man is man, woman is woman, male and female created them. Metamorphosis.
Coming after my soul, wanting to take control. Wanna give me laughs, wanna give me bling, wanna give me all the material things. I hear them talking about what the world has to offer. Girl, what you doing, don't you see what they have done to Bedouin and Marcus, Jesus and all of the prophets. But I'm not afraid, no. Protected by the Most High One. They don't mind when you fall behind and can't pay your bills on time. Prostituting or standing in a them government line. No, and they don't mind when you waste your time coming up with some stupid lines, influencing the youth them for snort a line and take a life. And they don't mind when you're locked up in jail, can't get no bail, sentence for life. I can't see your youth them strive. No, they don't mind.
StylzFM 96.1.
Yes, always have to give praises to the forces of culture. And within this Jamaican space, it is Rastafari. That is the cutting edge. Yes, healing up those who understand the meaning of those sounds. I also want to heal up Jachild, who passed through the island and is now safely in her own corners, taking in the metamorphosis. I want to heal up Jadata up in the community of Nonsuch and all the people there. You know, here's Sir D and the Titchfield Hill and the people in and around the community of Port Antonio. Heal up Kasha Blak in Toronto and the people down in Windsor. All of his people, of course, Osa over in St. Catherine and the UA campus and all the Rastafari within the tradition here. There is an important point in time because with all the difficulties that face us, the solution really rests in understanding what the culture is. Culture is the key to our own liberation. And to understand culture, we have to understand that it means behavior. It means philosophy. It means dressing. It means eating. Yeah, it means a way of life. And the way of life that is being promoted within the metamorphosis is a life that holds onto our blackness as a centerpiece. So the black story, our story, within the Jamaican context, Rastafari gives us a direction, takes us into the African continent, takes us into our own story. And if we can go beyond the Christian story of the world and get into the story of Egypt, ancient Africa, we would have made the connections that could take us out of mental slavery to a level of being mastery of our own selves. So the inner universe is one universe. The outer universe is another verse. And there are several universes because each person has their own universe. We're all on one planet, you know. There's no question about it. But within the one planet, we have millions and millions of people, and each person have their own universe, their own world view. What we want to do is connect within the black people culture and unite along the lines of our story. Common landmass, common experiences, common physiological construction, common history. What causes division is in religion. And we've all been given these different aspects of religion. So we defend our Christianity, we defend our Muslim, we defend all of these ideologies. It is time we drop them and just hold on to our blackness. That will take us closer to ourselves. Yeah, Metamorphosis in studio, StylzFM, waiting for sound, waiting for rhythms. But as we wait, we recognize that the time is moving. So cyberspace people, we want to thank you for tuning in. All the taximan in Jamaica who listening to the program. Golden Grove people, the ballers at St. Thomas Technical, Sewell. Yeah, we're getting ready for a real season. And of course, with good health and prosperity, maybe a cup will come into the Northeast for the first time in the history of schoolboy competition. Yeah, so we're going to our father's land.
How good and how pleasant it would be before God and man, yeah, to see the unification of all Africans, yeah. Has it been said already? Let it be done, yeah. We are the children of the Rastaman.
Yeah, so heal up Jachild. Yeah, Jachild says she and her Kingman listening. His wife taking in the metamorphosis. So I want to heal the ones them and give thanks for the connection. Yes, brethren, you are lucky. Great, great.
Cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're grooving to our father's land. Yeah. How good and how pleasant it would be before God and man to see the
unification of all black people, whether in North America, South America, the Caribbean, Africa or Asia. The melanin people must come together under the sun. S-U-N.
We are the children of the Rasta man. We are the children of the higher man. So
yes, even all the people in North America, Canada, and in the UK, and in the Caribbean, close to us, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago. Metamorphosis, it's about change. Change begins with the eye. Yeah, Dr. Iman Blak here on the way out of another edition of the Metamorphosis.
StylzFM, broadcasting from
Give thanks every time.
Metamorphosis, entertainment.